Hello all and welcome back and welcome to the first ever press conference for Not Football Manager, Retro Club FC, the Retro Football Seller, Masio-Ball. I really need to work on the official branding for my channel because, you know, it's a bit confusing. But opening up straight away, question from the press. Have the Ipswich board identified any potential signings for Season 5? Maybe one or two from relegated Chelsea. There is going to be a Season 5. There we go. There's the first thing. So we will be back Friday with some football. We have not identified, well, we can't reveal the signings that we have identified so far, but we can introduce you to the first of the new signings if we come into the squad here. This is Mauricio Anibal Riso. He's an Italian Argentinian, so he got round the work permit. Shooting 20, positioning 10, passing 12, pace 16, off the ball 16, both feet, strength 20, stamina 19, teamwork 17, determination 16, dribbling 15, bravery 16, agility 16, and acceleration 18. Is he the new Palencia? 100% yes. Did we try and sign the old Palencia? 100% yes, but Arsenal want £4.5 million for him, and he's not got a work permit, so I'm not sure if that would be renewed because we were within the same territory. So thanks a lot, Arsenal, for ruining what was basically an Ipswich cult hero. Next question. Right, the club have been rumoured to be interested in appointing a director of football to help solidify their status as a Premier League team. The highly decorated and illustrious football savant Colin Lee has been linked to the post. Can you tell us your opinion on the possible appointment and if you would feel any pressure working with such a well-respected modern-day genius? There are no plans to bring in Colin Lee. We've not got any vacancies that would suit him because, you know, the programme seller's been here a long time. And there's no other roles that we feel that he would be suitable for at this moment at a team like Ipswich, who is still in the Premier League. Unlike a lot of Colin's previous teams, which now find themselves looking up to the challenges of different leagues. Or if they are still in this league, they managed to just scrape in now that he's not got Robbie Keane carrying him. Next question. Some sources in Brazil say the club is interested in Rivaldo and that negotiations have already begun. Could you give us more details about this? So here is Rivaldo, still at Barcelona, 7.25 million, currently off in the World Cup, I believe. Yep, so look, they've got final game against Mexico coming up. And they're not guaranteed to go through at the minute. We'll have a bit of a World Cup update in a second. Did he score in this game? He did not. He did, yes. And then did he score in this game? No, because he didn't play for Mexico or Portugal. Did he score in this game? No, Edmundo did. Narciso. Great name. At the moment, we're not interested in Rivaldo. Don't know what he would add to the team. Definitely not that we don't stand a chance of signing him. Have you ever been told that you look a lot like the legendary Duncan Ferguson? No. Well, yes. Only that one time, just now. Thank you, I guess. What was your lowest point during this save, and what's the moment that you're mostly proud of? Staying up last year, mostly proud of. That's what we wanted. That was the objective set out by me and David. This is the moment. This is the lowest point, though. If we go into history and we go to competitions. No, we go into history and we go to positions. Lowest league positions. We were 23rd in the first division, aka the championship, in 98-99, our first year, when we were getting those multiple votes of confidence, and we were also 23rd the season after because we had a little bit of a struggle to life, and then we were 20th the season after that. Earlier this season, Richard Wright was rumoured away from Ipswich. Most pundits are pointing to him being the most important reason Ipswich managed to survive. Will he be happy to stay put next season, or are there bigger clubs ready to lure the England international away from Portman Road? Obviously, Richard is an integral part of the team, but no one is bigger than the team itself. Richard is under contract. He's currently away playing in the World Cup and having a great time with England, who are currently top of Group C. Feel like I should show you this. Top of Group C with a game to spare. Richard has played in all of these games. Look, 7 in this game and a 5 in this game. So not fantastic, even though they won 4-1. We've also got Shay at the club, who's off with Ireland at the World Cup, currently also top of their group. Just going to show you Ireland now because we don't want to repeat of the Lansdowne Road / Roker Park incident, for which we've apologised numerous times. So Shay is currently the backup goalkeeper behind Alan Kelly, but if we needed to, we're confident that he could come in and do equally as good a job as you saw from Richard this season. MD Gerard News, Gerd News, great to see you. Fan of the paper. Mr. Masio, your team went on an abysmal run, becoming less of a fan. During the closing stages, yet when safety was achieved, you had no problem beating Liverpool. What does that tell you about the nerves perhaps gotten the better of the players? In general, your players only see... In general, you know how bad I am at reading. You've been here since the start, MD. In general, your players seem to only one side of the coin, win or lose, but little fight back when things are difficult. Who are you going to sign to have better mental strength? We're going to be looking at the coaching staff. It might be time for some of the coaches, the previously established coaches, to be moved on. Brian Clogg, for example, it might be time to finally fire him. His determination is a 9. Jurgen is here, though, so he's someone who maybe take on a greater role. And again, we've said it before, but I can't discuss transfer targets this soon into pre-season. I don't want to be talking about other teams' players at this moment. But thank you, MD. Final question then from the floor. Thank you. Here we go here. I know my colleague has already asked you about Richard Wright, but is it inevitable given his performance this season? You almost sold him a few times, and today he's showing himself to be the best player. How do you intend to keep him at the club, even with a history of almost being sold? Well, we wanted to sell him because Richard wanted to leave, but he's turned that around now. Also, it's a bit premature to be talking about him leaving when he's just had a 5 rating versus Japan. So Richard needs to know his place. He needs to get back, stop messing around in the World Cup, and he needs to get back here and get ready for the new Premiership season. And with that, the press conference is over. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions. I said we were going to have a bit of a stats roundup. I've managed to mess that up spectacularly because I loaded up the new season, completely forgetting that we were due to have a look at that. But we're going to have a look at the history, have a look through. So last year we were competing in the Premiership. We finished 15th. If you contrast that to our very first season when we finished 18th in the Premiership, in the Championship with only the 14 wins and only 49 points. We then went on to get 86 with a playoff year in the final defeat, 95 as champions, and then 45 last year, narrowly missing out on the Intertoto place to Birmingham. Some news. These have been our record attendances so far. So 22,558. That will be broken this year now that we have had plans to put on an extra 7,800 seats. I hope it's that because this is a clip I'm going to have to splice in. If we have a look at the record goal scorers, our all-time record goal scorer is Jason Dazelle with 53. We don't have anyone really close to that. Juan Francisco Palencia was about 7 short of this when he finally left for Arsenal, but he won't be coming back to break that, sadly. Players, last year's top scorer in the end then was John Hartson with 8, and he basically got 6 of them in the final episode or in the run-up of the final episode. This shows the issue we had in the first year, though. Leon McKenzie got his 9 goals as we limped to safety in the Championship, and he's currently off at West Ham, not really doing a lot. We were talking about transfer targets, though. If you come to West Ham, do they still have Rio Ferdinand? He is someone that we will be putting in some offers for live on episode. Let's start to unsettle him, because I really want Rio Ferdinand. I feel like he'd be happier with us than he would be slumming it about in the Championship with West Ham. We're also after a youth goalkeeper, because if you come into the reserves now, we no longer have a goalkeeper in here, and I'm looking to really get rid of some of these guys this year because they've just been here clogging us up. If you have a look at contract expiry, Some of them have got contracts well beyond this year. Now, obviously, Ramirez and Roche and Carr we signed, so you can kind of ignore them. But if you have a look, Campbell, Midgley, Scowcroft, Support, Riley, all been here since the very start of the save. Fleming, Ingles, Miller. So guys that we just need to get out now. None of them have really got any value. But are just desperate to get rid of them, to be honest. If we go back to history, though, let's have a look at records again. So we've looked at top scorers. Top league goal scorers is basically this. Well, it's not. Top league scorers is the same every year for the same guys. Most assists. Now, David Robertson last year could be coming towards his end as a time as a starter. That's an area I'm looking to upgrade. Kieran Dyer, 14 in the first year. He will be back in the same division as us, so he will be back at Portland Road this year. Dean Keats, the ever-present. He is not developed as much as I would have liked, to the extent I've just noticed he's got that activated 4 million release clause, and still no one has come in for him. I was really hoping he was gonna kick on. He should sometimes become extremely special on this, but then this year's man of the most assists was won by Maniche, which, considering he only played the 12 games, I feel is quite a good indication of the type of signing he was. There we go, that's it. So he had a 6.07 just behind my face. He played 12 games with 3 subs appearances, still yet to score, but he got those 5 assists from that role. Probably no surprise to anyone that this is incredible from Richard Wright. 7.37, 35 appearances. So he basically played in every league game. If you compare that, look, he had 704 in the first year and 45 appearances. Palencia, though, holds the current record, 49 appearances, 7.41, and then Carl Laurie last year. Me man Carl, who again, really hoping to see kick on this year. He's still listed as a hot prospect. Worst discipline. Dean Keats, 10 yellow cards, 2 red cards. First year, Dennis Pearce, currently now living life in the reserves. Come on, Dennis. Let's get you out. Let's get that down by 100k. Hayden Mullins, 12 yellow cards, 1 red card. A pretty decent stalwart of the team. Might be doing a bit more at right back this year due to his performance there last year, but played a lot of games for us last year. Played 28. Basically only missed games when he was injured or suspended, due to what you can see how he plays. And then Ronnie Warwick. So we had a much better year discipline-wise, a much better ref league potentially. 6 yellow cards, 1 red card for Ronnie Warwick, who nearly 2 million value now, has turned into a really good player for us now that he's started to play consistently. So from when he came in last year, he basically played every game, and you saw him get that goal. He also managed to add the 2 assists along with a 6.87 rating. Considering he'd basically never played, other than when he got this incredible 808 for Antwerp, I feel like that's a pretty good first season as a starter. Rubbish. I was like, who's their right back? So now moving on, most appearances for the club. Richard Wright now drawing in on 300, so it would be nice if we could get him to 300 prior to him being sold. Most league goals for the club currently still here is then David Johnson. So Palencia had got up to 46 league goals for the club. Johnson is now on 41. He's not currently left. He is leaving the club, but he is not currently left. There is an opportunity that he could come back. The door's not closed, David. I know we've had our differences in the past caused by you, but I will. If you want to come back, you're welcome back. And then youngest player, Titus Bramble, still here. He's been out on loan. He's another that has stalled in his development. So he did go to Gillingham, where you can see he's hit 9 goals. So he was obviously playing up front for them, and that's probably part of the issues we're having with him, that he doesn't really have a true position. So he was 16-year-old first year, 18-year-old, and then we had 18 and 19-year-old Carl Laurie the last 2 years. So Laurie's probably going to be the youngest player again this year for the time being, because we still don't have anyone younger than him in and around the first team squad. Oldest player, Tony Mowbray, now retired. Ian Durant has been released and then has retired since. So we'd like to thank Ian for his time. Didn't really make the impact we were hoping he was going to when we signed him for 210k. He's only made a little handful of appearances. Didn't play at all last year in the Premiership, but I'd like to imagine he was enjoying his time in the reserves, passing on his experience. And then David Robertson last year at 33. So we've got quite a young squad. We are going to be opening games against Arsenal. So look at this: Arsenal, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Birmingham. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Thank you to everyone who's watched along the way. We are drawing ever closer to the magical 1,000 subscriber mark. And I hope that people have enjoyed the journey, because many of you, especially the people who've asked the questions, you've been here right since the start of the kind of, I'm going to say the start of the channel. The channel has existed for like 17 years, but there was basically never anything on it other than a load of nonsense. So since it became a channel where I regularly uploaded these football videos, you guys have really made that enjoyable and spurred me to go on. So for me, all I'm going to say is thank you to those, and thank you to anyone who's joined recently with a big spate of new subscribers, and anyone who's finding these videos and checking them out. If this is the first time you've ever seen the channel, you're probably going to be very confused by what this episode is. It's not always like this. There normally is some gameplay, but there will be another press conference in the future, just because it's been great to answer your questions and interact with you all. Thank you very much, and I will see you on World Cup Wednesday.